What it do? It's the boy True Blue here. To give you guys some relieving news for all you Tory Lanez fans out there. So, if you've been following up with the news that was dropped today, Tory's attorney showed up to court and pleaded not guilty on behalf of him, and now the court trial case will be determined on January 21st or 20th from next year. My apologies. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Remember that one, now that they're pleading not guilty, um, the court stance is going to be that the prosecutor has to bring up substantial evidence that are criminalizing enough to prove Tory's guilty otherwise. And I don't believe that's going to happen for a couple of good reasons why, which I will break down to you. Another thing that I want to mention is that, and while it may seem minimal, but it's kind of interesting because Tory's lawyer actually asked the judge about what were the terms of the restraining order and to how, I want to say, restrictive it is to what Tory can talk about on social media or on his music, specifically pertaining to anything about Meg. Obviously, no direct contact with Meg has been, executed, but, that was something that Tory's lawyer brought up, and the judge did say that there will be a written notice to fully explain and clarify things. So that way, in their defense, Meg doesn't continue to, bash them, or without Tory having the ability to defend himself via social media about things. So that was a key important thing. But let me get back to the case. So here are a few reasons why I believe this case will be dismissed on January 20, 2021. And Tory will walk away with, at most, having to do community service with barely any jail time to serve. I don't even think he's going to serve anything. But going back to the case, like I said, the prosecutor has the work cut out for them. All right. They're going to have to go with what little they have to prove Tory's guilty. This is kind of similar, not as directly, but kind of like how the O.J. Simpson case went, where the prosecutors could not bring enough, aforementioned, criminalizing evidence to show that O.J. was, guilty of a double homicide murder back in the 90s. So you got to look at it that way too. And like I said, the final verdict was that he wasn't guilty. And like I said, this being a much more serious case than what Tory's going through right now, like, I could definitely see the same thing happen for him, where he gets acquitted and, walks away barely, with the slap on the wrist, and that's it. With what the prosecutor has to work with right now, keep in mind with how, news are today, just how social media is today. There's so much information out there on the case. Like, you could find it. It's open to the public. You could really research it on your own and understand what's going on. So there's barely anything that the prosecutor could have that we don't know. But of course, I'm not ruling that out. But that being said, there hasn't been any security camera footage, nothing at all of what to partake during the incident. All we have really are 3 potential witnesses that will testify. One will be Meg, the other will be Tory, and the third will be Tory's bodyguard. Now, the key person that I think could really change the way this case goes, but also I think regardless, I still think the outcome will be the same. It'll be the 4th person would be Kelsey, but I think in her moveset, she would not want to testify, and I'll break down why she wouldn't. That being said, Meg is going to testify exactly how she said it on Instagram, which is exaggerated at worst, but is still an honest testament. So let's just keep in mind that everything she said will, for the most part, line up with what Tory's bodyguard story will come out as. So that being said, she's going to say that they had an argument. She walked out the car. As she was walking with her back to Tory and Kelsey, not really knowing what happened, she heard a gunshot and she felt pain in both of her feet. But to me, what she really felt was, a sharp-nosed bullet exploding near her, with the biggest piece causing the biggest injury that she suffered on her right heel with that gash that she had to get stitched up. And I also believe a couple pieces could have touched her left heel where she thought that she got shot at. But really, it's just, burning metal that touched her and gave her that burning sensation, making her think that she did got shot. All right? So remember this, we can't assume that something happened if we've never experienced it before. I don't think Meg's been shot in her feet before, so you know what I mean? I don't think she would be able to logically be able to know what it felt like to get shot in the foot. But that being said, she turned around and she saw Tory holding the gun. All right? From her perception and everything, she's telling the truth on her side. All right? That's keeping in mind of the things that she didn't know what happened when she wasn't paying attention. Now, Tory's side is going to pretty much lead up to that, to what she saw. But it's going to include what she didn't see when she was walking away, which was Kelsey grabbing the gun, getting out the car, getting ready to shoot her, and Tory coming out to intervene and prevent her from hurting Meg by trying to take the gun away from her. But as they were fighting for the gun, it went off, and then boom, Meg got injured. So the bodyguard will say the same thing, and he will mention that the gun wasn't even Tory's, it was his as well as Tory's. So to me, that's where I'm like, the unregistered firearm, unless Tory had another gun in the car where it was his and they took it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see that really falling on Tory anymore. I mean, that's going to definitely fall on Tory's bodyguard. If that gun, if there was only one single gun and that single gun that Kelsey grabbed was Tory's bodyguard, I think then that transgression should have fell on him, on Tory's bodyguard. But that being said, at worst, I do see Tory getting hit with some type of, like, it might be a reach, but say reckless endangerment with a firearm. That could potentially fall on him. But like I said, with that being a very minor offense, and plus, giving his testimony and really the judge overlaying everything could lighten his, punishment by a big amount. And also considering his history, as far as I know, he doesn't have any existing history in the state of California. That could be a bad look on his case. I could be wrong, but going by what I just assume right now, this is his first time offense in California. He could get a slap on the wrist and move on with a lot of community service hours, really just to pretty much repay for his incident. That being said, that's really what they got to work with right now, okay? Based on all the evidence and all the reports. The one thing I wanted to point out is that the findings of horse shell casings still is a question mark for me, because we don't know if there was more than one shot taken. From what Tory's bodyguard has said, it was only one shot. So where the 4 shell casings coming from, that we don't know entirely, that if that's from another incident or whatever. I did come up with a story where I thought initially they were at a red light and a third party came in, tried to scare Tory. Tory grabbed the gun, shot the driver in that third party van. They drove off while they were sitting at a red light. And I mentioned that the 4 shell casings could come from the third party, with one of the passengers just taking a gun, shooting it in the air 4 times or something like that. And that's where they found that, near the scene of the crime, where the witness called and heard a shot. But that being said, because it makes sense when I really think about it that way. I feel like that potentially could have been what really happened. But just going off of what so far Meg has mentioned and what Tory's bodyguard has mentioned, it seemed like that might be the more realistically scenario that could have happened. Which, like I said, the 4 shell casings, if that's the case, that's what happened, I don't know where that came from, or like how does that apply to the whole case going on here. That being said, so with Kelsey being the one to, in both Tory and Tory's bodyguard statement, to be the one with criminal intentions of harming Meg, it's going to be definitely majority over 2 versus 1 when it comes to the statement. And Meg, knowing that she didn't know what really happened behind her back until she turned around, if she hears both of them say that, she's gonna have to think twice about it, because at the end of the day, it was a mess between her, Kelsey, and Tory, with Tory basically knocking both of them, sleeping with both of them by terms, and they both were in the dark about the other sleeping with Tory. Kelsey could have taken huge offense to that, thinking that, you know, I mean, like Meg doing, snooping around behind her back, doing something like that. Maybe they both really, and I think they both caught feelings for Tory eventually. And that's the thing when it comes to, I'm gonna tell any guys right now, don't try to play with a female like that. Like I said, if you think they're gonna just be cool with that and move on easily, sometimes you gotta realize, like, that's something you gotta be really delicate and extreme when it comes to anything beyond first base. Let's just leave it like that. So I do believe that they potentially could have caught feelings for Tory and felt hurt and betrayed by the other, you know, because they're close friends, and in their eyes they felt like not only did they betray each other, but Tory played, you know, friendship record between both of them. Meg walking away, I think Kelsey came out out of spite, just tried to shoot Meg, which, like I said, it was just out of emotions, just out of pain. And maybe, who knows, maybe right now she could either be feeling remorseful for what she did or not even giving a damn. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But leading from this is where we got to conclude the fact that with very minimal other evidence out there, you know what I mean? The bullet's in pieces, so it's not like you can really put it together. They're going to have to look at this case just from the statements and be like, all right, well, this is what we got. I don't see enough evidence really to overturn the defendant's verdict, you know, pretty much pleading not guilty. I was going to say verdict, but then they're going to pretty much go with the final verdict of, you know, dismissing the case and siding with the defendant. And that's when Tory's going to get off. So there you have it. I think I covered about everything. So Tory Lanez fans, like I said, relax. Your boy's not getting arrested. At the end of the day, I think if Kelsey testifies, it's gonna make things even messier, because she did say in one statement that she wasn't the one holding the gun, but that doesn't hold water when all she had to do was, as soon as the gun fired on its own, let go of the gun, get in the car immediately quick, and then just sit down like as if nothing happened, while leaving Tory kind of like stuck there, like wondering what the hell happened. And then look and saw, oh my God, Meg got shot. And he realizes, oh my God, I have the gun in my hand. And just not really knowing that all this happened. It's like as if Kelsey really took advantage of the situation, really, to just get away with that cleanly and throw Tory under the bus at the same time. You know, like, it's like almost she got two birds with one stone with that. But I think more than likely that's what happened. I mean, Tory's bodyguard explicitly said that, and they both were fighting over the gun. And you know what? Kelsey's gonna have to testify against that. And to me, I feel like out of all the people who are gonna have to be in that court, she's the one that's gonna be in the hot water. And potentially moving forward, they might actually charge Kelsey with reckless endangerment and with the criminal intent of hurting Meg. So we could see Kelsey actually being the one that comes out here being the only one doing time. Interesting enough. But yeah, that's about it. This is your boy True Blue signing out. At the end of the day, this is just all messy drama. And honestly, we don't need to really partake in this. But I did this video just kind of like, I know I got subscribers that are Tory Lanez fans, and they're probably looking at the other news and wondering what's really going to happen or not. Look, I'm telling you, I'm just here to tell y'all, like, relax. It's cool. At the end of the day, you see him. He's not even stressing it himself. The 22 years thing is bogus. It's not gonna happen. They have to prove that he's guilty, okay? And like I said, check the track record. All right, O.J. Simpson was in a case where he was assumed the killer of both his ex as well as a friend of her ex, two people that he was accused of murdering, and he was acquitted of the case with not enough evidence to prove that he was guilty when his team behind Robert Kardashian proved that, and Johnny Cochran, let me put that out there too, proved that he was not guilty. And you know what I mean? As soon as they pled not guilty, like I said, it's all on the prosecutor to work. They got to work twice as hard now to prove that he's guilty. And I don't see it. I don't see the evidence. You know what I mean? And like I said, until otherwise, I don't think, you know what I mean, it's just all about a matter of when than if. We just got to wait it out and see what happens. But I still think though, no matter what though, you know, Tory's gonna get out of this. You know what I mean? So like I said, I don't see it. I don't see where there's any evidence to prove Tory's guilty. There's no security camera. There's no definitive, you know, visual evidence to show that Tory was the one that was criminally trying to intent to hurt Meg. All right. All we got are statements. And like I said, when you think about it, Meg is just assuming that Tory was the one that shot her because she turned around and saw him holding the gun. She's just assuming, and she's rolling with it because that's what she saw and that's what she believes. But like I said, you don't know. You don't know. Your back was behind them, so how could you really know? And how could you really think that Kelsey's purely innocent, especially knowing that happened inside the car? So like, I think this is where Meg is really weighing her options, and I think that's the number one reason why she never came out saying that Tory was the one that shot her in the first place, because she didn't know. She probably was thinking, could it be Kelsey? No, it couldn't be. And then she looked at Tory, but like, I know Tory wouldn't do it. I bet you she's having this fight within her head this whole time, and she's just trying to move on from this case and really go on with her life. I think both her and Tory will, and hopefully they can make up from this and actually just, you know, forgive each other and just move forward, man. You know what I mean? So that's all I gotta say. But like I said, I don't think really Meg is as big of a fault like I initially thought it was. I don't think she's really trying to play him. I think more than likely she's just going with what she witnessed and what she saw, and she's just believing that has to be true. You know what I mean? So if you turn around and you saw someone holding a gun pointing towards you, you're gonna more than likely think that they're the one that shot at you. So logically speaking, we can't really blame Meg for thinking that way. And I think that's why Tory isn't as pissed or as, you know, mad about it. He's just like, you talking this, but that ain't true. I'm framed for this because your friend is framing me for this. And you know what? I can see it. I can see it. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, Kelsey's the biggest, I want to say, culprit out of all this when you think about it. The puzzle, when you look at the puzzles, piecing it together, there you go. But anyways, damn, it's 18 minutes, but I had to do this just to let y'all know it's cool, relax, go on with your life and everything. And yeah, Tory will be free. He'll be fine. All right? Deuces.